Hi everyone, my name is Shiba Shrapnel from Shiba no Laguna, and I'm here with Alex from Sakura Stardust. And today we're going to be talking about some of the new hot animes.
So yeah, first we're gonna go over like just continued anime that I'm into. But mainly we're probably gonna be mostly talking about newer stuff. I know for me it's gonna be Beastars Cells at Work, Sk8 Infinite, Sailor Moon and Turtle, which I have not seen yet, and we're gonna talk about this hot stop motion anime as well. Shiba, what do you accurate too? Because
Yeah,
I have a friend who's a nurse, and I showed it to her, and she's like, "This is legit, like the most accurate thing,
and
like medical wise, I've seen in anime."
okay, the most hype part, I have it written in my notes here that like you can tell cause at first I'm like, oh yeah, I was like, oh, same premise, except the guy's terrible. Oh, he's pretty good. Monster design pretty cool. And then like it gets to a point where I'm like, dude, the show's fucking hype, you know?
Right?
And like I love how everyone is manly. And okay, for the record, I do like how when the guy, of course, the guy is, I'm assuming, of sexual maturation age, and they're like, and it's just like, it's seen as like a state of emergency where it's like everyone, state of arousal has been detected. Please get inside. All red blood cells report to the urethra as soon as you can. And I was like, what? I was like, all right, he needs to get an erection. And everybody's like, and it's the best ever because they're all standing there and they're like, and like, I guess the head blood cell is like, all right, man, we're gonna go in there. You might die, but you'll die with honor, and you're gonna do your. So you gotta go in there, and you're gonna do your job. And everybody's like, and everybody just charges in, and like they're like, and like that's how a drill works, type shit. And I'm like, I love this. It's the greatest ever. And
Yeah, it's
but then, like,
amazing. The biggest
yeah.
it doesn't go under over anything like sexual in
No, it doesn't.
the
It's not
first one,
gross.
but this one just fucking goes there. It's amazing.
Yeah, and but see, the worst part is, the rookie blood cell. I don't think he has a name yet, but he's like, he's still sort of like, well, good thing that all the babies in the testicles got to go out and they got to mature and they got to mature, and like the guy just kind of looks away and he's like, well, you see, not all sexual arousal is done for reproduction. And he's like, what do you mean? That's the point of being a sperm. And he's like, well, yeah, but sometimes you do it to relieve stress. And he's like, so they lived for nothing. And he's like, that's just the way life is, man. That's just where we gotta go. But they went out doing their job like a good man should. And I was like,
and literally, like, anime is the only format where you can make something that fucking stupid sound
really good
and epic in any caliber.
Like, because I was like, dude, if anyone told me this any other way, I'd be like, that's fucking stupid. But now
I know, it'd be like some sex ed shit.
But I was like, dude, you're a real man for doing that. Real men go out doing their jobs. And I was like, oh my god, this is great. And
I know.
It was really good. I think I think one of my notes is literally, I've never been this engaged in anime before. I'm gonna watch this every week.
It's good, yeah. I haven't had time to watch more of it, but I've been Cells at Work is something I got into like late last year, and I thought it was just on Netflix. I thought it'd be something I just kind of
you just kind
chill
of
and
passively
watch
put
while
on.
I'm like studying or like not paying attention, but it ended up being so freaking good. And it's such a different experience from most anime. Like, it has all the tropes for being like action and like specifically black is more dystopian and shonen or seinen. It's more of a seinen just because it's more mature.
I would say more seinen. Yeah.
It has all the tropes, but it's literally its own thing.
Yeah,
in
I
that
can see
it's like friggin' Osmosis Jones, but in anime. That's good.
Like, cause I just like and yeah, I just like how it's seen as like the nervous system and more of the bowels are seen as like the desk jobs, I guess you could say, like the more high security, like national security type ones, because the nervous system is like the most important part of the body, I would think. And
yeah.
Like, and of course, like the blood cells are like the delivery boys, the grunts of the whole thing, and that's really good. And I like the main guy because he's very much like he's very manly, and like that sort of like new kid figuring out.
Shonen, the eager shonen boy who wants to prove himself and does not quite know what he's getting into, kind of deal.
Because in one of the episodes, of course, the man, after supposedly jerking off, gets a strain of gonorrhea in him, and gonorrhea, of course, multiplies, as does the real one. And the guy was like, the main red blood cell is like, well, we gotta go save them. And the other guy, like another guy that hangs out with him, he's like, we're red blood cells. We can't do it. We have no defenses against them. The whites will take care of it. And he's like, no, we gotta help them, because if we don't do it, then because that's just the order. If we mess up the order, then we don't have jobs, and we gotta help each other out. That's what real men would do. And I'm like, and me just crying, like, yes, that is what real men would do.
Like rooting for literal cells fighting a literal STD,
and like,
they just somehow make it so good.
And I'm like, I'm just basically, my neighborhood hated me because it was like 5 a.m. and I was ripping up my room, but yes.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, I haven't watched a ton of it. I just watched part of the first episode, but hearing you describe that, I know I got a lot to look forward to. And it sounds like something amazing that I can just like show my friends out of context and they can question my life choices. So I am looking forward to that one.
Oh, don't worry. Since I'm now an anime tuber now. I'm an anime YouTuber now. Hooray! So now people get to see my questionable life choices and the way I draw things, but yes, I love how like the liver is like seen as a hostess club, because of course that's where all the beer goes. So it would be like a red light. So it would be like a red light place, and I was like, dude, this is great. And like, yeah, it's really good. And there's other spin-offs too, like manga spin-offs. I think season 2 of just regular
Cells at Work is in the works too and coming out, like just the
I believe
regular
so.
normal slice of life one. They also have one called, I think it's Cells at Work Lady or Cells at Work
Yeah,
Bishoujo or something, and it's literal just like all like they're all pretty boys and it's aimed at
yeah.
girls and it looks amazing. But that's just a manga right now. But I'm actually really
And
hoping they adapt that one because it looks ridiculous.
I think there's a one that's like uh it's like cells at work child that's literally just the body of a
Yeah,
kid. And it's like
I was
it's a
thinking that, but I wasn't sure if I was mistaking it or not.
cuz
But yeah, I was about to say that.
yeah, I think it's like cells at work kodomo or something like that where it's like
Yeah, something
where
like that.
yeah, where it's like the body of a child and I was like, "Dude, this show is awesome. I'm going to watch all of them."
Just make every different circumstance of the body and just make it into a profitable series.
Yeah.
Just go for it. I'll watch it.
Uh Also the OP is pretty good. I really like it. Um
Yeah,
and
yeah. The original one was like hella catchy too.
I like the ending too, but I do like it is kind of jarring a little bit at least whenever you see someone die and then it's just like the upbeat ending and it's like, well, that kind of killed things, but still
Yeah, they
exciting.
pull some JoJo shit.
Yeah.
They legit like went into like the JoJo textbook of how to do a freaking ending or opening where you just include characters that you know are not going to be there and you're just like fuck you. Why are you making me go through this?
Uh but that's really all I have to talk about Cells at Work at least. I mean, there's only
Yeah,
four
same.
episodes, so there's only 4 episodes, so we
Yeah,
can't really
there's
talk about much.
yeah,
Uh
exactly. I mean, this is basically just our preview of
yeah.
being like, yo, this series looks dope. Watch it. It's good. Or just like speculating. We're gonna probably touch on things that we're hyped about for the future, such as Shaman King,
Ah,
which is
most
something I thought
definitely.
was coming out this season, but it's not. And yeah, I did say Shiba did say Yashahime, though I forgot to mention that. But we'll get to that later. We'll get to like things that I've been watching continuously later. Um, we're just gonna, talk about shit that we're into right now. But
Uh
yeah, Shiba, what are you into, aside from Cells at Work?
okay, there has been a really big like kind of like I don't want to call it strange, but some unique type of anime that I've been seeing that's really hot on JP Twitter right now. And it's Pui Pui Molcar. It's literally just a stop motion anime, but like see the thing is that it's strange because they're 30-second episodes, but like but like and this goes into like Kenny Lauderdale sort of answer of what counts as anime, you know?
Yeah.
It's it's these little like I don't see a lot of people talking about this like West Side, so I'm gonna explain it to y'all. It's like these little like felt made like guinea pig cars, and like they just go on like random like throughout the city. You know, like I think the first episode is like one of them is caught in traffic because the main like okay, and also like these cars are driven by people. They're kind of IRL people, but they're also kind of figures. I know. Stay
The
with me.
biggest
It's
thing,
hard.
not to interrupt, the biggest thing I noticed because I watched it too, it looks like Robot Chicken. The people look like Robot Chicken people, and then
Yeah.
on the outside it's just like these really cute, like stop motion furry little like guinea pig cars. It's really weird, but really cool at the same time.
Yeah. It's like it's a weird like I think I have written in my notes strangely cute but also kind of creepy. You know.
Yeah.
uh. It also has really amazingly beautifully fluid animation. And I also put here I really want a Molcar, and I do because I think it would be great to put on my shelf. Uh, and um, and like it's just really it's like I mostly just wanted to talk about it because it's just absolutely gone crazy on Japanese Twitter. Like there are people
Yeah,
that have
it's
done their own memes.
it's
like-
interesting when you see what's big in Japan and what's big here, cuz from somebody who's like been to Japan, like you don't see a lot of the anime people are super into in America in Japan. You see like I know one of the biggest examples is like Saint Seiya, if you've heard of that.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That's huge in Japan. You
really
never see
big.
it here.
Uh,
And then Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, that's not popular at all in Japan from what I have seen. It's big here, but it's not big there. It's really interesting and like Fate Stay Night kind of shit.
Yeah.
That is all over the place there. Not really here, kind of here, but not really. But it's so interesting to see like the weird shit that you would
Like, the
never otherwise see
eccentricities.
unless you check like the Japanese side of the internet, you know?
Yeah, like I follow some Japanese VTubers, and like yeah, everybody's making their own like Molcar sonas where they're drawing themselves as Molcars or as they're driving a Molcar, and like it has its own own Toho style remixes. It's like its own entire fandom, like entirely untouched by American hands, and that's weird to see because of course I live in Texas. So the only reach I have from Japan is, of course, researching it and just following people on Twitter. And when I started seeing the little Molcars everywhere, I thought it was someone's OC to be honest. At first, I just
It
thought
looks
it was really
like
popular.
that, yeah.
I just thought it was someone's really
looks,
popular OC.
It looks kind of like a Sanrio character, or like some
That's
kind of
what I thought, too.
subdivision of Sanrio.
Yeah.
They also kind of look like Zuzu pets. If anyone who was a
Oh.
kid in the late 2000s remembers that monstrosity.
But and like yeah, like that's just I just wanted to touch on that because it's like because it's just like it's weird seeing like how Sakura was saying. It's weird seeing how some things are just really popular in other countries that's like nobody knows about it in the US. Like Doraemon
Yeah.
is like super popular in Japan,
Oh yeah.
but like nobody knows
Doraemon,
about it.
Sazai-san,
Yeah.
what's it, Chibi Madoka-chan, Shin-chan, all that stuff is just, it's like
Like,
The Simpsons
really
and Family
popular.
Guy here, but not, vulgar, if
Yeah,
that
like,
makes sense.
Yeah, like nobody knows about them here. Like, of course, from
Yeah.
like, the 2 seasons that we had of Doraemon here in the U.S., but that was different because it's
Yeah,
kind of
nobody
hard
really
to,
knew about that.
because it's also like because Doraemon is strangely intrinsically Japanese, and like
Very,
it's like,
very.
and it's like how they try to bring Shin-chan when it's like Shin-chan is just
Yeah.
a kid that riffs on Japanese culture. You can't really bring that to the U.S., but it's like, oh, but we're gonna update it with American culture, and it's like doesn't work that way, you know?
Yeah, like, dude, they made Shin-chan so freaking weird on Adult Swim. I remember I'd watch that in, as a kid, like in middle school, and I'd be like, what's the punchline here? What, am I missing something?
Yeah,
and
like
it just didn't adapt well.
yeah, because like I think because of course President Bush was the president at the time, so he'd like make a lot of Bush jokes, but it's also like I think they had like a White Day episode, and it's like you can't make a White Day episode but localize it because we don't do that here.
You'd have to explain so much there because Valentine's Day is like a step-by-step process in Japan. It is not like it is in America. So I mean, I don't know. And with the
Like-
Bush jokes, it didn't age well at all.
Yeah,
like
'cause
in that
it's like-
regard.
Yeah, that was just a small dip I wanted to talk about. The real one I wanted to talk
Yeah.
about was Sk8 Infinity. Okay.
Yes. Oh my god.
The Sk8 Infinity, I knew I was going to like it, but because of course it has all the trimmings and trappings of what makes something that Joey would like. Because it's like, oh, it's about urban youth culture. Ah, nice. It has cool like hip hop punk vibes. Dude, fucking sweet. And it's just about a bunch of and like I think in my notes here that it's very Air Gear in the sense of that there's like a secret society of skateboarders that like you have to go, but like only if you're in the know, you know where to go, you know, and I was like,
Yeah.
dude, I love that. I wish that was real life shit. But yeah, I like that. A part of me, if I don't know any of the guys' names, because there's only like 2 episodes out.
Oh, I don't remember. So.
The main guy, Reki, I think he works, or he just kind of hangs out at this skate shop, and the guy that owns it has this cute little fox. I want like
Yeah,
a
it's
plush
like
of it.
it's like a fennec fox. I that was so
Yeah.
like out of nowhere to me, and I was like, oh,
like-
it's appealing to the female demographic. That's nice.
You know, if the boys didn't already, but you know,
Yeah, exactly.
dude, I love everything. Like I would be kicked out of the Jet Set Radio fandom if I said I didn't like this show. But I like it. It's really good because the OP is great because it's something I would use as background music on my channel, and the sticker art is very good. All of it's great. The graffiti on it is fucking immaculate, perfect in every detail.
Yeah.
And
It reminds me of like the Splatoon stickers. Like,
yeah,
they go into such detail, like the made up like squid language.
Yeah,
But
and
like there's their own brands and shit. Yeah, it's it's so elaborate and well thought out.
And like I love that, and like a lot of it really has that nice, that nice punk feel. It has that nice urban youth culture feel, which I am always down to watching anything. And it's just it's really good. It nails it perfectly. And like I think in my notes here that I was saying, I want to like actually start looking into the Japanese skate scene, if it even exists.
It's
it
pretty rad. I went to the Pokemon Center in Shibuya.
Yeah.
They have like Pokemon skate gear there. They have Pokemon skateboards at the Pokemon Center. Shibuya in particular is kind of like, it has a good vibe of like youth culture and rebellion to an extent, like when you get into those little back streets. So yeah, it's definitely very alive there.
Yeah, and of course I've always told people that like if I ever go to Japan, I'm not going to Akihabara. I'm just going to Ikebukuro and Shibuya. Those are two places I'm going to. And I think also on my notes that like I was saying that like, dude, I'm just stealing colors and like clothes designs from this show to use in the monsters on my channel. And I also just like how two of the main guys, Langa and Reki, I think their name is, literally Reki is like the Genki type, that's like the Genki dumbass. Yeah. And I was thinking that exactly. I thought Langa was gonna be coming in and be like the cool guy to offset him. But no, he's also a dumbass. And I like that they're two halves of a whole dumbass. It's really good.
It is, yeah.
Like he's cool yet dumb, and I like that how he's like, how he he comes off as like the cool, like, the cool type. Cause I mean, he used to be a skateboarder and a snowboarder and like.
Oh, you mean the Canadian dude, right?
Yeah, the Canadian guy. And,
okay, I was trying to picture them because I'm not good with names at all, but now I got it.
Oh, don't worry. I have it written down here as the Canadian guy, as like 3 of my pages until I remember. I
love also that they gotta fit that Canadian stereotype with the snow.
Yeah.
It's like he's Canadian, so he's good at snowboarding. It's a thing.
And I think like at one point, Reki, the main guy, was like, "Oh, so you're American, you should know skateboarding," and he's like, well, "I'm Canadian," and he's like, "Same difference." I like how disgusted his face looked when he's like,
I know.
"Same difference." Like he had this, like, I'll show it up on screen if I can find it when I edit this. It's like just the look of disgust on his face, like, ugh.
I know.
I loved it to death. It was great.
I don't blame him, honestly. Like, I don't.
And like,
but yeah, like, I really like that. This is gonna sound awful, but I expected it to be like more gayer with like the yaoi, because when I watched the trailer, I saw that the banana fish dude was on board with this, and I was like, oh hell yeah, we're gonna get like some
we're
like,
gonna get gay
undertones and shit. Yeah. But no, it didn't. It ended up being like that underground skate scene and that one dude that looks like straight up like a Fist of the North Star villain in the first episode. And it's so good. It's so much more than I expected. And it like has its own lore and shit.
Yeah,
it's
cause like I love that. It's great.
Yeah, like it left me so pleasantly surprised, which I expected some like Yuri on Ice ass shit with like skateboards, but it wasn't that. And I'm glad it wasn't that, because there's so much more going for it. And there's just like, there's an actual plot, there's like build up, there's suspense, and they make the skate scenes look so good.
Oh, so good.
Like genuinely, like just like some like shonen ass shit. It's so good. It's kind of like Initial D vibes, like with the secret. If you've ever seen that, they have like secret drag races and shit. It reminds me a lot of that, which is really good because I love Initial D.
And like I was also on the same camp with you, where I was like, okay, it's cool skateboard anime, but I was also expecting it to be like, okay, so of course this might be my preconceived notions, but like just sort of like just saying like, okay, so it's gonna be skateboards but gay, and I was like, I'm still down to watch it, but then I watched it and I was like, oh well, it's actually good now. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's not this at all.
And I like how in the in the second episode, I think you just see like the evil. What I'm assuming is gonna be the evil villain of the series, and I wrote down, bro, there are gonna be evil skateboarders. Fucking animated of the year, my man.
You mean the dude with the screens, right?
Yeah, how he was watching them on the security cameras.
He has some Dio vibes. Yeah, he has some like straight up Dio vibes.
And I was like, bro, I wrote in my notes, like, bro, there are gonna be evil skateboarders. Fucking anime of the year, my man.
If they have like skate gangs and shit, that'll be so epic. That'd be like some like
that's what I'm
like kind of do da da da, but like on skateboards maybe. That'd be dope. If they take it that way, that'd be awesome.
What I'm expecting is it's gonna be like a very like Air Gear type shit where like there are like skate gangs that try to get to like the top, because that's normally what these types of
like tournament arc kind of.
Yeah, like that's normally what these types of youth culture shows do. They're like, yeah, we're gonna be the #1 gang in the city, and then in the town, in the prefecture,
in the Nihon.
In the Nippon. And
I haven't seen Air Gear in years, so I'm trying to remember what that's about. But I'm kinda seeing it.
It's okay. It got really dumb and weird. Like
I think I rented it. Like this will show how long it's been. I rented it on Netflix when they sent out DVDs to you.
Oh.
So that's the last time I watched any of that.
Like from someone that read the manga pretty religiously, it got really weird in later chapters. Like a girl possesses the body of president at the time, Barack Obama, and
why? Just why?
It's very strange, and like I'm not that deserves an episode all its own. But
it does. Yeah. We can talk about really messed up, cursed ass like or just weird anime. We can make that a whole episode because I've seen plenty of that.
And I also put down literally everyone's a dumbass in this show. I love everyone because there is the
it makes sense though.
Yeah, because they're
kind of like the whole skateboarder vibe is just like headstrong. Dumbasses, like they get injured, they get fucked up, but it's all good. They're having a good time. So it fits the vibe, I think. I think that's a good way to go at it, and there's probably gonna be some like character development and shit.
Yeah. I do like though that I don't know how to put this, but like I like how there's a lot of ship debate. You get me?
Oh yeah, it's what's the word for it? What's the word for? I forgot. There's a word for it on TV tropes. Free Iwatobi Swim Club was like definitely like that.
Yeah.
To the point it was infuriating.
Because
which is good for the female demographic, but
gotta get that sweet Fujo money. But
oh, I know.
Sakura's over here like already rubbing her hands together.
Oh, I know. I know that they do hire people to like look into like Shonen Ai subtones to kind of get the BL going, get those BL juices going. Because going small tangent, the people who created Ace Attorney, after they finished the first game, they realized that a lot of people draw BL fan art, and they literally looked into how to make it more gay to appeal to that demographic in future games.
Yeah,
they
that's
literally
why,
had people like make this their priority.
Like that's why Edgeworth is always
I'm
talking
sure
about. That's why Edgeworth is always talking about how good of an attorney he is, and how we'll be partners forever, and it's like. Yeah,
and unnecessary feelings. You can't forget his unnecessary feelings, quote unquote.
Quote. But the OST also, it's fucking perfect. It's so good.
It's really good.
It has really good guitar, really good like rock guitar, has some punk vibes, has like some subtle hip hop vibes, similar to that of World Ends With You, because that also had a really good eclectic mix. That also had a really good eclectic mix. And once the OST comes out, then fuck that. I'm just gonna use that as the OST on my videos now.
Just go for it.
And okay, also at the end of the second episode, right? How the cat boy comes out. I want his fucking phone case. I really want his phone case. Because it's just a little black cat that has graffiti drawings all over it, and I was like, dude, I want that phone case. When they make it, I'm gonna buy like 30 copies.
Get on Etsy. I'm sure somebody will make that.
Oh yeah, someone like if
Like,
this
there's always somebody on Etsy that makes some weird niche ass shit that someone wants.
and yeah, like because I can already, you know how you can feel when like you're like, oh, this is probably gonna be popular to like a certain extent. So like
Yeah, has its own like little, has
yeah.
its own fan base.
So like I think personally as someone that is pretty deep into the World Ends With You and Jet Set Radio fan base, I can already tell that this will fit
Oh
in
yeah,
line
people
with
eat
those
this
type
shit
of
up.
people. Like that will
Yeah.
definitely like if someone like me, someone that eats this shit up for like every meal, you can take my word. It'll be good. You'll like it.
Yeah, no, people eat that shit up. I like Jet Set a lot because I had a Dreamcast as a kid. I like Splatoon. I played over 100 hours of that. So you can say I like that quite a bit. I love the whole youth culture shit. So
Yeah,
I'm glad that there's no skateboarding anime. Like, how I found out about this was like a few months back. I saw a photo of it and I was like, yo, is there's an actual skateboarding anime they made? And I googled it. I googled skateboarding anime and nothing came up. And then when I looked on like AniChart or whatever, it showed that it was coming out soon. I was like, so you're telling me there's legitimately never been any skateboarding anime up until this exact point in time? Like, it seems so overdue to me because of that.
Yeah, it's like when the Trash Chase Boys were like, "Is there a chess manga?" And they literally looked up.
Yeah,
they're like,
exactly.
and they're like, "There's no fucking chess manga," and like
They have like Hikaru no Go for like Go.
yeah,
They
for
have that
Go,
Chihara Furyu or whatever it's called. That
Chihaya Furu.
yeah, the one about shogi or whatever.
Yeah, that's for shogi or like Hanafuda cards, I think. And I think
I don't remember. I saw like one episode.
I think Sangatsu no Lion is the one about shogi.
Yeah, that's like, shogi. Yeah, I was about to say that.
Where he's like apparently like a genius in shogi, but he's like, yeah, but like
yeah, he's like a prodigy. I haven't seen that one in a while too, but
I haven't seen
that
it
one's
at
more
all.
like it's more about his relationships and shit, and that's like the shogi's more of a subplot. It's not really
like a backdrop.
It's not like how Yu-Gi-Oh, for example, goes super hard with card games.
Like
What's that one gambling manga that came out in the 90s that's like really heavy on gambling?
Kaiji?
It's like hardcore. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
how Yu-Gi-Oh's really into card games and that anime's really into gambling.
Yeah.
There's not really Hikaru no Go's like with the Go heavily, but I don't think there's really any like hardcore shogi anime where it's like intense like that.
There's a lot of mahjong ones though, like because I hear that mahjong is just really popular in Japan.
Yeah, it's a Yakuza mini game in Zero, if I remember right.
And like
it's confusing. I tried to play it.
I don't get it. Like my grandma used to play it. My grandma played it, and I was like, I guess it's just an innate skill in old people that you just know how to play shogi or play mahjong.
I guess your mind's just I think your mind like without certain other stimulus is just so it's easier to pick up things like chess and mahjong and stuff like that, I guess, and card games. Would be my assumption, but who the hell knows?
The one thing I really liked in because this one note I really like is dude, Langa fights the cat boy in the next episode, and he makes really dumb Dragon Quest references. Be still my beating heart, because like I love that the cat boy is not just a smug little cat boy shithead. He makes dumb Dragon Quest references. Where like
I know that's amazing.
I think the main guy was like, one of them. He was like, you duel me next week. And the main guy was like, oh, I guess you heard about me. And he literally shoves the guy out of the way. He's like 10 feet taller than him. He's like a grade schooler, I think, because of the uniform. And
probably.
And
I think
pushes,
so, yeah.
He pushes him out of the way. He's like, oh, I have no time for slime like you. I want to hear the.
Oh God.
And he's like, I want to hear. Okay, what was the line? It was good because I was like, that's so
it was
dumb.
Something like
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
He was like, I want to hear
He was
like, I want to hear the refreshing.
It was very
ding.
yeah. It was very similar to how like in Yakuza Like a Dragon, how Ichi talks about Dragon Quest shit. It was just very much like that.
And like, I think it was like, I want to hear the refreshing ding of the level up when I finally reap all the XP all right out of you.
Yeah, like, something like that. And I'm like, we'll put We'll put
Yeah.
a screenshot up.
Yeah,
I'll find it. I'll try and find it myself.
I'll find a screenshot of it. It's this. How can you not love this? I mean, I love them already, you know. But
yeah, that's just like, I mean, with like isekai and shit, like the whole RPG in real life thing is such a overused trope at this point. But
Yeah.
when you just throw it into a fucking skateboarding anime,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so strangely likable and funny.
because I don't mean to be mean, but there are people that do that and think that they're really cool, and I think that
Me in middle school. So yeah.
Do you want chunibios? This is how you get chunibios, you know?
Yep, exactly.
I can't say I wasn't chuni though. Have you seen my old
No, I was too.
That's why I draw myself with an eye patch in my younger years, but we're not talking about that right now. Yes, it was
We
really...
can talk about that in another episode.
Oh,
'cause
dude, most definitely.
I have an old YouTube channel that captured that exact essence of cringe.
I used to have, like, Shibuya Laguna isn't my first YouTube channel. It's like my fifth, you know? And,
Yeah.
I'm glad they're not around anymore, because,
Yeah, no.
But,
God, I've made some really bad shit.
But yes, Sk8 Infinity only has 2 episodes out right now. It's, like, if you can't tell about me just rampaging on, like, ranting on about this, it's really good. And anyone that's into stuff that's very youth culture, very urban, you know, like I've been explaining, the Splatoon, Jet Set Radio, No Straight Roads, you know, World Ends With You, all that type of aesthetic and feel, you'll love Sk8 Infinity. I guarantee you. If you don't, tag me on Twitter and tell me why you don't.
Money back guarantee.
Money back guarantee. And also, you're free to roast me on Twitter at Shiba King Beast. I'll put my name up here. Tag me and roast me about it.
Yay.
But what else did you want to talk about?
I mean, it's a good niche. That's long story
Yes,
short. It's
very
a good
good.
niche anime that it really needed to happen because, like Jet said, at World Ends With You, Splatoon, those are all games. There isn't really any anime to fill that
Yeah.
void, and I'm really glad it exists now.
Yeah, most definitely. Okay, so
But yeah, what I wanted to talk about next is Beastars Season 2. Technically, it's not on Netflix until July, but I have found it other ways. We will not discuss what the other ways are, but
that's how I watch
it's
these
taking off.
animes. That's how I watch these animes, through totally legal means.
Yeah,
Won't,
totally legal. No,
that
don't
won't-
worry about it. It's
that
good.
won't-
It's all good.
That totally won't bar us from getting sponsors in later episodes.
But yeah, Beastars is getting really good. Have you seen Beastars, Shiba?
Oh, I have. I've read the manga. I haven't watched the anime, but I don't know exactly where they are in the anime. So if you just tell me where, I can totally gauge with you.
Okay, so you read the manga.
Yes, current up to the current.
Okay, and I'm gonna future editing, Shiba, please put up a spoiler warning because I don't know how to talk about this one without spoiling anything.
yeah,
'cause there's a lot going on.
Oh, so yeah. When I'm editing, I'll put throw in the skip to this time on the thing.
Okay, cool.
And we'll get to it.
Yep. All right. So it's after the school festival is when season 1 ends. You know, the school festival when like he chases after Haru.
Yeah.
And then I guess they get together like after the part with the Lion Mafia.
Yeah.
That first kind of arc.
Have you? Oh, not Gosha. That's the guy that's the hybrid of like both like an antelope and I think like he's like a tiger or something.
Yeah, something like that. It's not there yet in season 1.
Oh, okay.
But season 2, the murder in the very first like opening of the series.
Yeah.
Season 2 is gonna kind of
Like delve into.
Tone in on that. It's like season 2 is that part when it starts not being about like the romance crap, and it starts more being about the more like the kind of animal racism and the action and the mystery. It's at that point right now.
Oh, which is very good because I really did.
Yeah.
I really liked the because of course the mangaka is I believe the daughter of the
the Baki creator.
of the Baki mangaka. And when I found that out, I was like, dude, that's not fair. You can't make a manga like that. You know, like you got outside help. That's not fair. You know,
yeah.
I say she needs to be, you know, she has doping of some sort.
She's been trained well, let's just say that.
Oh, but yes, and
her training has brought her to this moment.
But yes, it's like I know that point because and I do like the world building, I guess you could say, because it's very how do you put it?
It's very realistic. Yeah.
Because that's always the hard thing. Whenever you put racism or any sort of discrimination in your series, a lot of people want to have discrimination allegories,
but it's hard to make it real without stepping on toes,
or just coming off as entirely comedic with how racist people are.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Like the biggest thing is it feels like Zootopia but for adults, because a really good way to address racism without being offensive or not like taking it well or just not adapting it to a fictional format well. The best way to do that is use animals, because like predators, herbivores, carnivores, small animals are like not able to do certain tasks, like stuff like that. It translates so well. It's so easily understandable without being
genius.
Fucked up in the real world, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's actual genius how she was able to come up with
exactly. It does what like Zootopia does but like it goes so much further, and it's more adult, of course,
into what it can do. And
it explores it more and makes it so real. So it's amazing. Like I love Beastars. I didn't think I would love it at first, but I'm super into it now.
Not gonna lie, I totally thought it was gonna be like some furry anime, because I have a lot of
because the animals.
But no, actually, when I actually just took the dive and read it, it's actually really good. And I like the subtle intricacies of it. How Gosha, his grandpa, would take baby Lugosi, and he'd be like, and he'd instinctively just go to the back because that's what you would do. And since he's old, he would just instinctively do that. But then Lugosi was like,
Gosha is Gosha's like the MVP of like all the characters. Like he's awesome.
He's really good. He's an amazingly written character.
And,
I love him.
He's not someone that shows up in season 1. So if any of you guys out there have only seen season 1, I don't want to go in too much with it, but he's an awesome character. He has really cool background. He's not going to be what you expect when you think of Legoshi's grandfather. Not at all.
And I think that like the one thing that really made me think wow, this is really good is when Lugosi, when younger Lugosi asked him hey grandpa, why do we always have to sit in the back with all these terrible tables? And his grandpa was literally you could just the way she draws such subtle differences in a human's face, he would Gosha was just I'm sorry Lugosi, that's just the way things are right now. I can't change it, but that's just how the world works right now. And that's so good because
it is so good, yeah.
Because as someone who, but yes, and it's really good because that's legitimately how minorities are in our actual life, because I'm not gonna get into that.
And it helps people we don't want to get into that rabbit hole or at all. But yeah, it helps people understand, I think too, how people are legit treated and how they have to live their life without legit showing real people, which is so well done when it's done right, and Beastars does it really well. Another thing though too is the Beastars anime is CG, so while I'm super into it and I love what they're doing, it's kind of like what you said with the subtle way of how the mangaka draws and how she does the expressions. It's kind of interesting seeing how they approach that with the CG animation. So far, it looks really good. I don't really have any complaints, even though I'm not a big fan of CG. I endured the horrible monstrosity that is Berserk 2016, so I know that it's not really great for manga adaptations usually. They're doing a good job so far with Beastars, and I think it works well because they're animals. but certain little subtleties like that, I'm really curious to see how they'll, address certain scenes, if that makes sense.
And I believe it's because, like, the reason why that one's so good, I think they motion track that. They put the little ping pong balls on them, and then they just sort of act out the scene as if it was a live action.
The mocap shit, yeah.
And, which I've noticed that's become kind of, like, I know they did that in Hoseki no Kuni, or Land of the Lustrous. Like, I think they mocapped that too? At least I think so, because I know that was
I'm not sure, because I haven't seen that one.
But that looked really good because that's a whole other topic in and of itself. But yes, Beastars.
Yeah, we can talk about Seichi anime and possibly shit on that later. Getting a lot of good episode ideas though.
Oh, yeah, you're just listening to me prattle off. But yes, Beastars is very good, and I just really like, and also Itagaki, I believe, is her given name, or her last name, surname.
I think so. I can't remember off the top of my head. I've been trying to, but I can't.
I'm sure future me will totally roast me and call me a fake fan for this. But yes, she's also very adept at drawing action scenes, because there are points in later on in the manga where it does kind of delve into being sort of a combat series, a battle manga, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, which I like that. I mean, the thing with Haru is interesting and stuff, but if it was going to be about the whole, like...
Yeah, the Beast Star, to be the number one,
Yeah, if it was going to be about their relationship the whole time, I don't think it would have carried on and been successful in the long run. Going back, shameless plug to our first episode where we talk about, how romance anime doesn't carry on very well.
Oh, yeah, so...
When it's just about the romance. So I'm glad they're taking that approach, like, later on.
Yeah, most definitely. And also, if you haven't seen the first episode, I'll put a card around here somewhere that you can click on it to go listen to that, but only after you listen to this.
Yes.
But yes, Beastars is very good, and I really like Legosi because I like that how he's a wolf, but he also has he has like the small
other stuff, yeah.
He has like the little eyes of his grandpa.
Yes.
And I like that. That's like, at first I thought that was just a character design thing, like I thought that was just
like just to make them look unique because they're all like wolves or animals and crap.
But then Itagaki was like, "Ha, psych! Didn't think I'd put genetics in this series, did you?" And it's
this isn't even my final form.
At that point, I was like, "So this is the power gap between me and an actual pro," it's like
yeah.
I was like. It blew my mind when I figured that, when she introduced that in one of the chapters, and I'm like, oh my god, so this is the power of a professional mangaka, actually like powering up, but yes, it's really good, and I do like that. Just Legosi's a really good character. I really like him. Some people have even called Gosha, I believe, like the Joestar, the Joseph Joestar of the Beastars.
Yes, he's very much like the Joseph Joestar. He, minus the ridiculous comic relief and the bad English interjected throughout. He's definitely, he gives me those vibes a lot.
Also, most of the Beastars stuff I got is from a guy named Kamui Legacy. I'll put his channel here, or I'll pin it in a comment. Like, he makes really good...
Is he the guy who does the manga reviews about, like, the relationships and the histories of, like, Legoshi's family and stuff?
Yes! He is so good! He makes really good videos.
Yeah, I think I've seen his stuff.
I fell behind a little bit for a little while because I had a job that would work me all the time, and I had no time to read manga, so I just watched his videos, and after a while I was like, oh, okay, now I can just now I know a little bit, so I can get back to reading and not have to be
yeah, you can catch up.
Yeah, and I was like, nice. He makes really good videos, somewhere around here. And yes, he makes a great, amazing manga videos. And I believe he does a few video essays. They're really good. Go check him. But yeah.
Yeah. I think like going back to being like overworked and busy when I used to work at GameStop. Fun fact: I was a manager at GameStop a couple years ago. I couldn't keep up with JoJo, and there was where am I going with this? I guess just YouTubers who recap and shit. It's very helpful. So yeah, check out that content creator. I'm all about like spreading love to other people who make great content. So, yeah. But yeah, going back to the Beastars thing with the combat, like, because they're animals, like, combat's kind of necessary, and the way she does, the mangaka, or the creator, and the animators as well, the way they do the combat is really well done. For, like, it's exactly what you would expect for animals fighting, if that makes any sense. Like, animal people.
Yeah, and, like, it's very good because it's not fair, because normally whenever someone, like, for example, has, like, a beast ability, it's very, how do you put, very surface level, like, oh yeah, he has the power of the wolf, so he has, like, sharp claws and stuff. But, like,
and the smell and all that, yeah.
Yeah, but because they're people, or, like, I guess you could say anthropomorphized people, they have those abilities, yes, but it's more of, like, just like, oh yeah, it's a person. Like, think of it like how it's like, oh yeah, that guy can just smell really well, and it's like, well, okay, but
yeah, he's just a dude. He has,
he's
like,
just a guy.
He has some skills, but he just, he's a dude.
Or, like, how we have people in our human world that are like, yeah, he's a guy, he's just really strong, and it's like, yeah, but he's just a dude, like,
yeah,
so
like,
yeah, like,
everyone has their strengths.
So yeah, I like that, and that is done in this manga so amazingly well. And of course, there are criminal organizations that that build off on these, these talents. Like, there are carnivore yakuzas, and there are, like, I think there are, like, venomous reptile yakuzas, and, like,
I think so. Yeah.
And so yes, of course, people with common traits, like in real life, band together and try to, like, do things, good or bad, and so that's what Beastars is really good.
Yeah, it is. It's great. And I think if you want to check out the anime sometime, Shiba, it's good. The CG takes a little time to get used to, but it lives up to the manga. So I would definitely recommend it.
So I've heard that, like, it's like, yeah, the CG is kind of jarring and a little janky at first.
A little, yeah, but after you get used to it.
After, like, 3 or 6 or so episodes, you barely even notice it, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so that's good.
I can't say that for a lot of other CG anime, and I really want to just take this as an excuse to shit on Berserk 2016, because that's just disgusting. But it's not like that. It's not like that. It's good.
But yeah, and I guess, what else? Well, that's
we were gonna talk about Sailor Moon.
Yes, I would have.
Which I exactly. I would have if I knew where to find it. I don't know when it airs, and I believe it's a movie. But we are talking about Sailor Moon Eternal. I love Sailor Moon, and I don't know where to find or watch this, but we decided we were going to talk about stuff that's coming out that we haven't seen yet, too, because we are hyped about a lot of things. And yeah, Sailor Moon Eternal is one of those.
I tried looking around, seeing if it was even, like, okay, because I checked, like, 3 articles, because 3 nights ago, I stayed up watching all the stuff I needed to for the podcast. I looked up if Sailor Moon Eternal is out, and 3 articles were saying, yep, it's totally out right now. And
it might be a Crunchyroll thing, but I'm not seeing it on Crunchyroll. Like, I'm even, like, trying to look right now, and I cannot find it.
But as far as I know, I like Sailor Moon. I've been a pretty big fan of it for a while. And I do like that more of the later manga chapters are being adapted, because
same.
The 90s anime, as iconic as it is, did, I believe, skip out some stuff from the original manga, because I think they actually put in the Sailor Stars in there, but I think that's it. I don't think they did any of the later stuff.
I don't it's been so long, but I do not recall them doing any of the later arcs, or they changed things up, like, excessively. Like, I remember the Sailor Moon, the original anime, had so much filler, just so much nonsensical, stupid filler. Like, it puts, like, Naruto to shame almost with the amount of filler they just throw in there. And they changed characters and crap too in the original anime. I remember they made Sailor Mars just, like, a bitch for no reason. Just, like, awful to Asaki for no reason.
And
but yeah, I just found something. Apparently, it aired in Japan. Let me see. One of them's saying February 11th, but then the other one's saying, oh, I think it's a series of movies. I'm sorry, viewers. Like, we've been trying to piece together where the hell to find this thing. I believe, if I'm reading this correctly, my kanji proficiency kind of sucks ass. But, January 8th, I believe, is part 1. February 11th, I believe, is part 2 of the movie. And it looks like this is the release for Japan. So my assumption, because I've seen this happen with the new City Hunter movie they did in, like, 2019, it'll come out in theaters, and then it won't be localized till a few months later. So that is my assumption of what's happening. If anybody thinks that's incorrect, please let me know, because I'm just scrolling the internet right now as I'm speaking. But yeah, I think that's what's going on, but I'm still hyped for it.
The other things that I've seen are coming out, of course, I mean, I have to talk to you about it. I am so ready for the Chainsaw Man anime to come out. I think, like, when that episode, like, when it actually comes out, like, when the Chainsaw Man anime comes out, the first episode, you're just gonna hear me, like, talk about, like, I'm gonna be the only one talking for that podcast episode, because I'm just gonna come in, like, wearing my, like, old, like, wearing my fucking, like, Denji cosplay, even though you guys can't see me.
Like, yeah,
you know?
if we had an office like Trash Taste, I'd probably see Shiba, like, up in the office with, like, some fucking Chainsaw Man cosplay.
It's like, even though you guys can't see me, you know, like,
I mean, it's the spirit. It's the thought that counts.
And because Chainsaw Man is so amazingly good.
It is. I've read 2 chapters and I'm really into it. It looks amazing. Shiba here is the specialist, so I'm gonna let Shiba go ahead and, like, hype about it.
Chainsaw Man. And Genji finds this chainsaw dog that he was tasked to kill because Genji is a devil hunter. He's kind of a guy, he's really down on his luck. He sells his organs to the Yakuza just to make money. And but then one day the Yakuza turns on him and just kills him and then leaves him to rot in a dumpster. And so him and his dog, Pochita, like Pochita was like basically like well, I really had fun hanging out with you. Like I want to achieve the dream that we both can have, or we can just have a simple life together and eat. And like there's this whole thing throughout the whole series that Denji just wants to have the life of simple pleasures. You know, he always says, I just want a life where I can wake up and have jam with bread. And that's so good because he just wants to have a life of simple pleasures. That's all he wants. He's never had that life.
That's like deadass making me want to do a JoJo reference right now, but I'm not going to.
And
but I really want to.
And like it's just really good because but then and then just over the course of the series it becomes really good like and there's so much shit that happens in the series that like Denji actually grows as a person that he's like, I guess I can have more than just the simple pleasures in life. And like there's also and like the fights are fucking phenomenal. They're great. They're absolutely impeccable. And yes, that's all I'm gonna talk about for right now. But yeah.
Yeah, like I've said, I've only seen a little bit of it, but it looks amazing. It does look like a genuine deconstruction of the shonen archetypes that you're used to, which I find so pleasant. And the whole demon thing, from my perspective of me only seeing like a very small portion of the series, it kind of reminds me of Persona 5.
Yeah.
Where like everyone has a palace. It's kind of like that kind of idea, where it like reflects upon them. They just have their own. That's just my perspective. Yeah. I have not gone into the series very much, but it kind of seems like that.
Actually, there's only like certain people that are hybrid devils. Like there are people that are like bomb devils. There's Denji who's the chainsaw devil, and there's like a guy who's a katana devil. It's like really good. And like there is a guy that becomes a gun devil, but not gonna give that away too quickly, you know. And it has
a lot of what's the word? A lot of potential to expand with that idea too, because there's so many different gimmicks they can use to like have fights, kind of like stands in JoJo, but like it's the person, which makes it so unique. And I like the art too. The art's kind of gritty. And like kind of reflects it so well, like reflects the story.
Like me as a guy who is very much loves like punk rock and stuff like that that's just really grimy. It's really good because just when you like people online have already made if you look up like go on YouTube right now, look up Chainsaw Man OP1. You'll see so many great like fan interpretations of it. It's and like a lot of them use like really cool like screamo bands or like death metal bands. It's the best. And part 1 is actually over. Because as Fujimoto, I believe, said, if I could find it anywhere, he was saying,
is it the rumors that they thought it was going to end, but he's just closing in the first arc? Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah. Where someone asked like Fujimoto like, oh well, do you have any plans after the Gun Devil, or is that just the be all end all of the series? And he was saying, oh no, the Gun Devil is only the end of a first act of a 3-act story, and so far
that's dope though.
And they just finished part 1, so a lot of people were thinking, 3 acts as in one whole manga series. No, literally after the Gun Devil arc, there's like the curtains close and it says end of part 1, and literally when that happens, I flipped over my computer and I was like, all right, we gotta get more Chainsaw Man, boys. This is gonna be fucking great. And
I think that's awesome, because going back to our conversation in our first episode again, like how Demon Slayer and just like newer series know when to end their goddamn series instead of like drawing it out and making it fucking stupid. I think with that kind of arc style, because that's like a really smart way to write things, I think that the mangaka for Chainsaw Man knows what the fuck he's gonna do with this, and it's probably gonna be pretty dope.
And like, I'm normally really good at predicting these things. So I kind of feel that Chainsaw Man is gonna be another one of the really good breakouts, because like I can feel it in like my manga reader bones that like people are gonna adore this shit. Like it's gonna be a really big breakout, I feel, when it comes out.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think
I feel it.
Same with like My Hero and even My Hero, Demon Slayer, just like all those series, like you didn't hear shit about them. Promise Neverland's another one.
No.
And then the anime drops, and then everywhere you see this shit, and people are just so into it. And when it's a good series, that's not like some trope ass like thing you see over and over. when it's something new and unique that deserves the praise, it's so rewarding to see that. So when the anime drops, I think like it'll get that same kind of respect and recognition that it deserves. Because it seems, I gotta read more Chainsaw Man, obviously, but it seems really good so far, and I'm actually really excited for that anime adaptation.
And just because the devils run on fear, that can mean so many things. Because later on in the manga, there are things called the primals, where they're the primal fears, like the dark,
oh god,
death, hell, and like their powers are so among like beyond our recognition that like the series, when they go to see the primals, when you're literally fighting existential dread. Yeah, that sounds hype as fuck. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Like, there are people that are theorizing, all right, is there a fear devil? Like, the devil of all fear. And I was like,
oh, probably.
That is fucking cool.
That's awesome, yeah.
And, so yeah, in the manga, they meet, like, the hell devil, the fear devil. No, not the fear devil. The hell devil, the fear, like, darkness, like the fear of the dark. And I believe they meet, like, death devil, like the fear of death. And, like, they're all so amazingly, like, because people are like, dude, when they meet them, like, their power is so out of the realm of what we could even begin to process that, like, people are like, dude, the darkness devil could probably, like, not even blink, could just, like, look in your general direction.
Do you remember that there's like a quote from Bleach? You know how their swords are compressed? What are their swords called again?
Oh, the Zanpakutos?
Yeah. You know how they compress their swords? And I remember there's one quote from the manga where they're like, if you could see the real size of their swords, they'd be like the size of skyscrapers.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like, you don't even know, like, the true potential of these concepts. And that idea alone is just so... It's so cool, and you can do so much with it, like, as long as you don't go overboard, but still, like, kind of possess that energy of just, like, you don't know, like, the amount of power, like, or, like, what they're capable of as an antagonist, which is really cool.
Because, like, people are thinking, like, dude, if you met the fear devil, like, the dead-ass fear devil, he would probably, like, not even just, like, he would probably just look in your general direction, and your head would explode, you know? Like, cause
exactly.
You don't even like a lot of people are like, cause Chainsaw Man, it's really good. It has this level of being somewhat of an eldritch horror, but also just being really dumb and goofy. Like I said, like Denji will just dead ass just go to some guy and just kick him in the dick, you know? And it's like, and it's like that's great. That's why I love Denji so much.
Yeah, no, that's needed. You need that kind of off-kilter kind of thing when you get with like the melodrama of anime and just kind of juxtapose it with that. It's very fun and refreshing to see. And like going back again to our first episode, the thing with power levels is so fucking dumb usually when they go overboard, but things like this where you can kind of guess and kind of be in the dark about it and just like know like, oh wow, they're extraordinarily powerful, but not like put a number on it. I think there's just so much wiggle room and so much potential with that, instead of just saying like, oh, they have a high power level and just, you know, leaving it at that.
I will admit though, I don't think this counts as a spoiler, but I will admit though, there are portions of later parts of the chapters that go into that whole like, that goes into like all that, you know, all according to Keikaku levels of like, there's no way you knew that, you know? Like, because there are certain characters, let's say, or character, that it gets to the point where like, they're like, all according to as I planned. It's like, you fucking liar, you did not plan shit, you know? Like,
I mean, I think that's an unavoidable trope in anime too. Just
especially in action
because the manga
series.
Format, because like the manga format, it's like next chapter, oh, this shit just got real. There's another level of this fight that you just haven't even perceived yet. Which I mean, it makes sense. You can't really avoid certain things like that. But that cliche, having a cliche doesn't really make it bad. It's just when it's overused and stupid and doesn't really elaborate on the manga or anime. That's when it's stupid. But cliches are fine.
As much as Twitter would
just
like
when
to
they
tell
go
you.
overboard.
Yeah, but like it's not like for people that read Bleach and Naruto, like the end fights with Naruto, with Madara and Aizen, how he would always be like, huh, as I totally thought you would do. It's like, no, you fucking didn't, you liar, you big liar, you did not plan any of this. But yes, and also it's just really good. I love it, and you're just gonna hear me fucking just talk about it for 3 more hours. That's gonna be like an 8-hour podcast when that comes out.
We can yeah, it's gonna be a special episode. We'll say
it'll be a Sugoi Saga Gaiden,
Yes.
And
it like I'll definitely watch it by then, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll definitely read it by then because you're selling me on Chainsaw Man like 100% at this point, and I just need time to read it. But it sounds so dope, and it's definitely, I like that kind of gritty shit. I don't really like typical shonen. I like things that get a little more gritty and dark. And this sounds awesome. So I really got to check it out.
And in later parts of the series, in later parts of I don't want to say that because that might be a spoiler.
Can I interrupt you real quick because I just found something out.
Oh yeah, what?
So apparently Mappa's doing the anime. And that's hype as fuck because they're doing Attack on Titan right now, and it looks so good.
I'm a total normie when it comes to anime stuff because I mostly read manga. I don't watch a lot of anime.
Okay, so Map is a good thing.
Okay.
They have done. Let me see some. Have you seen Ushio and Tora? It came out like 7 years ago, I think. They did that. They did Yuri on Ice. Which makes me excited. They've done a lot of really Dororo. Have you seen that?
Yeah, the remake. Yeah, it's really good.
They've done the final season of Attack on Titan, which was trending on Twitter. I noticed. Thank you Mappa was a trending hashtag. Just cause I guess they're doing a really good job on it, and I haven't been into Attack on Titan in years, but apparently they're doing a really good job. And this sounds like it's going to be really, really good, just based on like the track record of Mappa. So I would be even more excited because that's good news.
Because mostly I just read manga. So if a really good mangaka makes another manga, I'm like, dude, his last series was good. I'll read it. But I don't know that level to anime studio animes because animes has anime studios and but they have this really good seiyuu, and I'm like, I don't know anything about that either,
I don't know much about seiyuu. I can recognize, because I do voice acting myself, I can recognize a seiyuu or a VA by their voice sometimes, and I'll be like, oh, I know that dude. Or if I'm like, oh, he worked in JoJo, then and they're voicing a character in this, then that's probably going to be hype. But especially when they have good range, because I do know one voice actor, and this is a mini tangent, I'm sorry. One dude, he does the Japanese voice for Donald Duck in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
but he also does the voice of this gritty ass deep voice dude in Yakuza in the game series. And just that level of range, when you see that dude's name in something, I forgot his name. I'll send it to Shiba after this.
Yeah.
It's so good. So I get that kind of hype, but usually I'm not really that into it. I know studios to an extent because I'm more of an anime watcher. But yeah, I see what you're saying, Shiba. It's definitely something you have to do a little research on, or just know their track record. Because some studios kind of suck, and some some are great.
Because I heard that because I remember watching a demo video, and he's like, I think I like whatever studio the best because they're the most lackluster or whatever, but they make okay shit, and I'm like, if you say so, Mr. Demo Man. And,
I would say the biggest ones, Gainax.
I've heard that,
Gainax, Trigger. Gainax did Evangelion, but Trigger's people from, correct me if I'm wrong, people in the comments, but I believe people from Gainax left and made Trigger, which Trigger made Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, Kill la Kill.
Kill la Kill.
Luluko.
BNA. Yeah. They're definitely among the best. Mappa is good. David Production does JoJo, and they do an excellent job with JoJo. Just certain ones, like when you see those names, you're like, oh hell yeah, it's gonna be good shit.
I used to know that there was a studio called Gonzo, but I think that's a defunct studio now.
Yeah. They did, I know one anime they did called like Kaze no Stigma, which wasn't a very good anime, but yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't think I think they're defunct.
Yeah, like that shows you how long I have not been in the watching anime game.
In the anime loop, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. I mean, Shiba is more of a specialist towards manga. So,
yeah,
I mean, if you like manga, if you're more of a manga reader, you got to check out his stuff.
Check out my videos, bro.
Yeah, you got to get that shameless plug in there. Yeah, no, he knows manga. I think I'm more inclined to anime, so I think it balances out well for our nice little podcast.
Yeah, totally.
What were we talking about originally, though?
Oh, but, okay, yeah, I went on I was frothing at the mouth about Chainsaw Man for like 30 minutes. Oh yeah, we're talking about stuff that was like, that's not really out yet, but we wanted to just talk about, say like, I guess, give like, a sort of like, what we're expecting, I guess. Like, I guess that's why I talked about Chainsaw Man. I think
I gotta check out Chainsaw Man to like add to this conversation, but like I understand the hype. I can understand so well why you're hyped because this looks so good.
They're gonna be like the news is gonna come out and be like, so anyways, in Texas there was a house that was completely burned down by the heat of some man, and I was like, and then it's just gonna be me in the crater.
Spontaneous combustion occurred.
It's gonna be me in the crater, you know. My only face reveal is gonna be me on the news, you know. But
yeah, when our episode of Sugoi Saga drops on Chainsaw Man, if you're a big fan of Chainsaw Man, look forward to it because we're gonna go balls deep into that shit.
Oh, I'm gonna like, it's like, oh, you'll see me like, it'll be, oh, this is Shrek Unbound. It's like, fools, like you fools, you thought that you were safe now. Now I can talk all I want.
Nobody's safe. But yeah, what other I think we've pretty much covered series we've seen. Anything upcoming that you are into? I do want to say real quick, when I was going on that Mappa tangent, I did notice they're doing another season of Zombieland Saga.
Ooh.
Which is an idol anime about dead zombie girls, which is really funny and kind of vulgar and dope. I'm hyped for that. But yeah, we were also going to talk about Shaman King. So let's go ahead and take it away with that.
Okay, like, Shaman King is very, very, very important to my growth as an artist. Because for a long time, when I first started drawing, if y'all don't know, I taught myself how to draw, like, entirely. You know, like, and of course, when I first started drawing...
Which is really cool because a lot of well-known mangaka are self-taught. I know Clamp is. So
yeah, they're entirely self-taught.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really admirable.
And as you can see from the thumbnail, I hopefully have drawn by then. I've done pretty okay for myself. But when I first started drawing, and I still want to achieve that level, I want to draw like Takahito Harada. Takahito Harada, that's not his name. Hiroyuki
I can Google
Takei.
it real quick. I got my...
Oh no, it's Hiroyuki Takei.
Sakura's got the Google.
I was thinking of the character designer from Disgaea, another guy I like. It's
oh
Hiroyuki
wow!
Takei.
I need to finish this guy. You just reminded me of that. Which great art style.
But Hiroyuki Takei, he's a guy I want to draw like, because he has such an amazingly really cool, sharp art style. It's like so, like, he could like, it's just so good. It's a really, because he has
it's unique.
Because he has this this really good, like, I don't know how to put it, like how everyone looks skinny, yes, like skinny and slender, yes, but they look cool.
Yeah,
though.
it's so. It looks like manga in anime, but also you can, if you look at the characters, it's Shaman King.
It's unmistakable. And like,
yeah, exactly. What's the main guy's name again?
Yo.
Yeah, he, like the way his eyes are kind of half lidded a lot, like that kind of reminds me of your art style.
Yeah.
And also It's just so unique.
And
And also the remake looks so good because it looks like
Yeah.
it's capturing that manga art style like even better than
really-
the original,
I really
which
like
is really
that.
hype.
I really like that animes are doing that now, where they're just
Yeah,
one
yeah,
for
like
one doing
Crystal
mangas
did
now.
that.
Like Crystal
Yeah, like
did
Sailor
that.
Moon Crystal,
I believe it
JoJo.
started.
I'm
I
gonna-
believe it started with the Hero Academy. That like the anime is just one for one basically
Yeah.
now. So
It
I
is
really
pretty
like
much,
that animes are doing that now.
I think there's a little controversy with My Hero Academia with like
Oh, when is there? Now?
the girls' proportions or some stupid. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's
sorry,
always
I'm
some kind of
tired and angry.
controversy.
Like I'm tired and angry. Yes, just like, and for someone that reads a lot of manga, there is a sort of bias that a lot of people have or preconceived notion that whenever art style does look very slim and slender, it's meant for women, which is
Yeah.
this is a lot more about me than
That's
you.
a
then.
little.
But Shaman King is able to like have that sort of sleek, slim art style, but still be like viable for boys, you know, to look
It
cool.
looks kind of more.
Yeah.
It looks more like going back to youth culture. It looks more kind of
like
Jet
yeah.
Set, Splatoon kind of aesthetic. It
And
doesn't really look feminine to me.
and I think that's probably why I like it, because graffiti is just hardwired into my brain. But
Yeah.
but it's just Shaman King is so really good, and it's like I like that the creator Takei was like, he made like this is another one of the stories of, okay, just a little insight for y'all. Being a mangaka is fucking hard work. I'm just gonna throw that shit out for you now. Like,
If none of you all have never seen Bakuman, it's an anime about mangaka. It is very accurate from
Like-
what I've heard, and I think
And,
the Shaman King creator is involved in that. Aside
yeah,
with
he,
the creator of Death Note, so I
Yeah,
mean that wraps up with like our conversation here. But yeah, it's very accurate. It's not easy.
And like, because, okay, one thing that like kind of is a bit of a pet peeve for me is when people in the West are like, oh, well, I don't really draw comics, I draw manga. And it's like, no, you draw a comic, because manga
it's the
is
same
a
thing.
different
Yeah.
manga is a very different medium, and it has a very different sort of structure. You can't just say you're a mangaka. You have to be like,
Yeah.
because like first you have to be hired under someone, and then you do like the grunt work, like the lettering, and then you rise up, and then you become an assistant, and then you can
Yeah.
pitch. And it's a lot of work, bro. You gotta
You
gotta want
you
it.
gotta move up that. Yeah. You gotta
Yeah,
climb
and,
that
like-
ladder. It's not easy.
And like
Just
if-
because you're good at drawing, you get so much
Nah.
more than that.
like
You're another like way to kind of delve into like what it takes. There's this really I'll link this to Shiba when he's editing. Which please remind me of. I think there's like 3 things I gotta send you, Shiba. But there are there's a tiny little like NHK documentary about Osamu Tezuka on
Yeah.
YouTube. It's like 30 minutes. That man never stopped working, and that
Like-
is just his life. Like, he died trying to finish manga. Like, he literally, like I
died,
believe his
pen in his
iconic
hand.
last words, were like,
like-
please let me finish my work. And the nurse had to, like, take
then,
away
like
the manga panels, which I don't know if that's true, but it sounds believable because that man
Like-
had an insane work ethic.
And like, it's just sort of the reason why I was saying this is because Takei had 3 failed series that all got canceled
Yeah.
before he finally hit it with Shaman King, and that's pretty
Yeah,
common.
most most mangaka have that. Like, Bleach had Zombie Powder.
Zombie Powder
The
and,
Naruto
another
pilot was the Naruto pilot was really different.
Yeah.
The one shot, if you ever
Oh,
seen it, it takes place
it
in like
is
modern
so
Japan.
weird.
It's so weird.
And like, but like, when people like, there are very, very, very few people that hit it once, and like, I think
Yeah.
Ichiro Oda was able to do it, like, was able to like just hit it with One Piece, but that's because he was drawing
think so,
manga. That's because he was drawing manga when he was 13 years old. Like, and he's
That's
also
that's impressive.
and like he's also considered like an outlier and a prodigy in the world of
Oh,
manga
definitely, yeah.
because like dude, I wasn't drawing manga when like he was drawing like he was working like actually drawing for magazines when he was 13 years old. And it's like, do you know how insane that is? You know?
That's incredibly like I can
Like
look back on what the absolute trash I used to draw at 13.
like
It's
and
near impossible from a 13-year-old's brain unless you're
and
like on that grind and trying to better yourself. Like I find it's so hard for me to like kind of conceive how you can do that at 13.
Horikoshi, I believe, is the same, where he also like okay, there's a story that is actually like Oda was sent a letter to literally like I'm almost certain if you look through old Shonen Jumps in Japan, if you know Japanese, that you could see a
Oh
letter
yeah, I have
from Ichiro
I have
Oda, like a letter from Ichiro Oda to Akira Toriyama, and like it's like just, you know, and like
Do you know what year that is? Because I might actually have that issue. Because I did buy
I
a few
don't
like old
remember.
Jump issues from like 1985 and 1986,
I don't
and I
remember,
might actually like.
but
Because
there's
if I
like
had that, that'd be really cool.
but like I don't remember, but it might just also be one of those urban legends that people say of like
Oh
you
yeah,
know
yeah.
but like but there is a story that fucking Horikoshi like finally met Ichiro Oda, and it was very anime because in a sort of like gentlemanly rivalry, he was like Horikoshi said like I think it was something like, oh well, I hope you don't mind if he was like, well, I hope you don't mind if I end up taking your spot away from One Piece. And Oda literally was like, well, try as you might. Don't worry,
Good luck
I
with
won't lose.
that.
You know, he was like, try as you might. Don't worry, I
I
won't
think
lose.
though, I think Demon Slayer though, I think that did beat
Yeah, she
out
took it.
One Piece for a couple months,
And speaking of,
which
like,
is
I'm just
insane.
and like, it's really good. Like, I'm just going off on a tangent about manga, but like,
Oh, no problem.
and like, I do like though now that more women are making action series, and like,
Yeah.
because before,
No, I appreciate that.
cause like Gotoge, Amano, that like Gotoge, of course, did Demon Slayer. Amano, did Hitman Reborn, and like, Blue Exorcist, I
Full
believe,
Metal
is also done by a
Alchemist.
woman.
Yeah.
Oh, Hiromu
Yeah, what's
Arakawa,
her name?
fucking just
Yeah.
Hiromu Arakawa, like fucking just, she's impeccable, amazing, like
She
and like
is. Oh my god.
and like there's so many other women, like
13 yeah, like 12-year-old me when I found out that was a girl that wrote that, I
yeah,
was so like
like
hyped. And Rumiko Takahashi, like she's just
oh
immaculate
the
in her own
oh
right, but
the
yeah.
grandfather of all of them. She paved the way for
Yep.
so many people. You know, like
Oh, and yeah, if
without her,
we're
there probably wouldn't be that many. You know,
yeah,
but oh,
if we're going like super like back in time, the Sazai-san creator, I think
oh
she
yeah,
was like legit one of the very
she was
first.
one of the very very first. Like literally when people
Yeah.
would scoff at the idea of a woman drawing manga.
Yeah.
You know, like literally,
Which is very impressive.
it's just like and like it's like just oh my god, the medium of manga is so much more than what people think it is, and that's
It really is, yeah.
and like once you start reading like more than just your trite like action stuff. Not gonna lie, I like action stuff. You saw me talk about Chainsaw Man, and you know, and
Oh yeah,
Cells
I
at
was
Work,
there. I witnessed.
but it's like, oh, don't worry, I heard it. I'm kind of locked
Yep, no,
here.
I was there.
But it's just once you get past the sort of triteness of that, and you start reading the actual like real stuff that defined the medium, like 20th Century Boys, you know,
Oh
literally
god,
anything
that takes me back so far.
like anything Osamu Tezuka made, because without him, we probably wouldn't have manga. Like
Oh
literally,
yeah,
Hokuto
yeah,
no Ken,
definitely.
you know,
As we know it today, definitely not.
like Hokuto no Ken, you have to read JoJo's. You know, beyond the meme.
Oh god,
You know, like
you
like,
don't have to tell me. You do not
like,
have to tell me. I've read
there's-
all of that.
like once you really start reading what really makes a good manga and what direction this medium is
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
takes, it's like
It's
the world opens up. you know?
Yeah, it's so much more than just like moe ass shit. It's so much more than that. And if you like delve a little deeper into like some more not so well known series, then you can like realize that it's not just like some kind of weeb ass shit. There's a real story, there's real heart in this stuff. And
it's a legitimate art
going
form.
back to going back to like female mangaka. I'm a girl, if you guys listening to my voice for the past hour haven't noticed, but I don't read a lot of girly manga. I used to when I was a teen, but most of the stuff I read is pretty... I love Berserk, I love JoJo, I love Hokuto no Ken, I love City Hunter, which is definitely not intended for women. I love a lot of the really manly ass shit. And the fact that like women are now like writing that, and it's not just like people understand that like women are into this stuff too.
It's like, hey, guess
it makes
what?
me so
Women
happy.
also read manga.
It makes me so happy that it's not like girls aren't just like they understand that girls can write and enjoy this like masculine ass shit. Because like I like I said, I used to be into feminine stuff. Like I still love Cardcaptor Sakura. I still love like Oron, Fruits Basket, but most of the time I love the gritty, like gory shit. Like that's my jam.
And
So it makes me really happy that like female mangaka are kind of stepping up and showing that this is a thing.
And like, okay, like I don't know how I'm supposed to address this, but Japan is kind of strange in that fact where like they kind of only really let women do certain things still.
Yeah.
And like it's like I don't really know how to put it in exactly the right words, but yes, so like that's why there are still people that kind of do still scoff at the idea of a woman being a mangaka,
Yeah,
which is like, but it's also like it's hard to
there's
explain.
there's still limitations in place.
Yeah, like,
And like even stupid ass shit like when this might be a little old fashioned, but from what I've heard from Japanese friends is that if you get pregnant and you're married, you're expected to like take a leave and focus on your child instead of like working after you have a kid. And I know like it's gotten a little more progressive, but and I obviously don't know because I haven't worked in Japan as of yet.
yeah, like,
But from what I've heard, it's still kind of old school like that, which is really fucking stupid in my opinion. And I think people need to kind of understand that, like, you know, like to be a little more progressive. I know there's like tradition and stuff, and Japan's a very old country with traditions, and I don't want to get into this too much, but there's certain things, there's certain things that are in place that really should be a little more lenient, is what I'm saying.
but yes, just I do like that there are more women making action series, and like that are making like, you know, and just because like I think even like, but like also but like it's also just sort of, I do like that like they're making action series, but like it's not action series that's like Fujo bait, you know, it's like legitimate good series like Blue Exorcist, you know, and like all these other great ones, you know.
Yeah, like, I mean, we're smart. We know, like, when you're trying to just bait us with stupid shit that's not going to amount to anything. Like
you got me.
I love, I mean, I love my BL. I'm not going to deny that. But when it gets like that, it's just annoying. So it's cool. But, let's move on to, like, topic, anime that's coming out, that we're hyped about. I'm looking at, like, I know Dr. Stone's gonna be out. I mean, talking about continuation. Sorry, I didn't say continuation, but going into continuations of anime, like second seasons. Right off the bat, I know Attack on Titan's one, but I'm not really watching that. But we also got Promised Neverland. We got Dr. Stone. Yashahime's one. I've been, like I said at the beginning, that's one I'm really into right now. It's getting pretty hype. But anything you're watching that's continued that you're kind of excited about, Shiba?
No, not really. Like, I've been watching, of course, Hero Academy, because they're getting into the really good shit now. And
oh, really?
Yeah.
God, I'm so behind on that. Like, it's not even funny.
Oh, it's okay. I've been like, since I read the manga, I'm terrible with anime. Just so y'all know, I'm terrible with anime because when a manga comes out, like, because when an anime comes out that's based on a manga, I'm terrible because I'll be like, oh, I've already seen it. So I can let the first few seasons skip.
Yeah, like whatever.
And then,
Yeah.
but then when it's like season 5, and it's like, and I'm like, well, fuck, where are they at? So that way
Yeah,
I can know.
Where do I start from here?
Yeah, it's like, fuck, wait, where am I at? So that way I can like.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just
no big
remembered
deal.
World Trigger 2, which is a
Yes.
huge surprise because 5 years ago is when I watched that, and
Well,
God, I need to like rewatch, but it looks dope.
well, there's actually a reason for that, because Ashihara, the mangaka of World Trigger, he actually got really sick for a while, and his manga was on like
Oh, really?
hiatus. His manga was on hiatus for like 2 years. Like, it was fucking crazy. And like, I followed the letterer, one of the letterers for Jump on Twitter, and yeah, they like people got to send like him a care package full of like, you know, World Trigger
Oh,
fan
that's so
art
sweet.
and like World Trigger fan art, people just sending him videos, you know. It was really cool. It was really nice. I wanted to do it, but like I wasn't good at drawing at that time, so
Yeah,
but-
as somebody, another fact about me and me as a person, I have a heart condition, so I do go through bouts. I did go on a small hiatus on my channel, because my health is, it comes and goes, but like I can totally understand when you just can't do what you want to do, and the fact that they came together and did that is just so nice, because I know there's a
Yeah.
lot of like shithead fans that are like Berserk fans. Again, I'm going back to Berserk, but people who just like bitch at him, and there's that meme where he's playing Love Live all the fucking time.
Idol
and
Master,
it's
yeah.
just like, and
I like
it's just like these people have lives and they have issues, and it's really nice when people understand that, and that's really cool.
but yeah, and so yes, I'm I really like World Trigger, because World Trigger is very good because it's a very good like tactical action series, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I remember that. It's been so long, but I do remember like elements of it. Is there mech elements? Or
no,
am I confusing that with something else?
That's something else, but they do have is like they have the main, what you could see, this is the thing, no one really knows. A lot of people hotly debate who is the main character. They're like, no, it's Osamu, no, it's Yuma, and some people are
That's
like,
cool though.
so,
Like
yeah,
Gurren Lagann it pulled that shit too.
yeah,
Which is cool when it's done right. So I respect that, and
because
yeah, it's cool. I'm hyped about it, but I gotta catch up.
because people are like, no, it's Yuma, because Yuma was on the first cover, was on the first tankobon, and he was the first character introduced. But it's like, no, it's Osamu, because we mostly follow Osamu, and
Yeah.
Yuma is just the guy that hangs out with him. And so people are like, nobody really knows. But yeah, but the thing I was getting at is, Yuma has a ring that like puts like a power suit on him, kind of. So I think that's probably what you were thinking of. And like,
That
he gets to
yeah.
use,
I
like,
just
trigger
remember that it's like
abilities.
some Tron looking stuff, if I
Yeah,
remember right.
like, and people
Yeah,
have,
it's coming back to me.
Yeah, people have these things
I
called
mean-
try-on bodies, and so that's probably what you're thinking also. But yeah,
Yeah, it's coming back to me. This was way back in the day when I first started my channel. I did these like cringe-ass anime episode reviews from my cheap phone, my cheap like HTC phone from like
Oh, it's-
2013.
Oh, it's
so
okay. I was drawn
yeah,
on
it's
I was drawn on a Windows
it's been
Surface.
a while.
I was drawn on a
Yeah.
Windows Surface and recording audio off my phone. That's why my first
I
few
mean-
videos are terrible.
I mean, you gotta start somewhere, and you gotta
Yeah.
kind of, climb that ladder. So it's all good. Yeah, like I said, do you watch Dr. Stone?
I watched the first few episodes, but I do like that in the Stone World, I think it's the second season. I
Yeah,
think they're
Stone
gonna
Wars is what it's called. Yeah.
I think in that season they're gonna start getting more into like the petrification potion or whatever it's called. And
Yeah, it's.
and
I watched it. Yeah, I watched it when I was in Japan. I like it a lot, but it's just you gotta be in the right mood to watch it, I guess, because
Yeah,
it's very different, very scientific, it's survival. but it's also science, but it's also shonen. It's good. I just gotta be in the right mood for it. If that makes sense.
It's very, because like I get what you mean, because it's very much like when it comes out on the week, and like, and when I read it on the, you know, on the Shonen Jump reader, like, and it's like okay, it's like when you finally get to that, it's like I'm gonna read that one last, you know, and you skip the tab over,
yeah,
you know, and you're like, I'll read that one last,
backburner that,
you know, because I do really like it when mangas like take things from real life, because of course the main guy, I forget his name, is like, he's like a super science nerd, so like he knows everything about science,
yeah,
so that's why,
which is really, he makes it so likable because he's so fucking full of himself.
But like, he's
because
also,
you
like,
think he'd be like a science nerd, but he is not.
But like, and also he's just kind of an asshole. But he's also
yeah,
really cool, so he's just like, I think he was like, well, I, the great science lord in the kingdom of science.
Yes.
And
I remember this scene from the original, the first 2 episodes, and the other dude that's like kind of shonen boy, he's like, wow, this tastes really good, when they're like in the years later and they're unstoned and all that. He's like, wow, this tastes really good, and then science boys over there like, yeah, it's just salt, like if you just season with salt correctly, it's not a big deal. And he's all like
well, yeah,
you know, full of himself. He's like, yeah, well, duh.
Well, like, I like, because he's always like, ah, you primitive monkeys, I am obviously ruling over all of you. And I think the best one, like, it's really good because, like, it does actually talk about, like, real science shit. Like, I think at one point he's like, well, because I think the point I stopped, not that I stopped, it's just I need to catch up. The last time I read was they were trying to make cell phones, and they're like, okay, well, first we got to make an ion battery, and that's from lithium. And, you know, and it goes like,
yeah,
and
like,
the narrator is like, this is like, lithium ion batteries are made of blah blah blah, and I'm like, dude, that's fucking awesome, you know?
Yeah, like, when they get into that, you know, the mangaka is like doing their homework and
yeah, because he's
getting
really good at
really into it.
Because like, I think at one point he's like, we need something corrosive or something, and I forgot the name of it because I'm not a science man. I draw anime on the internet.
Oh, me neither.
But,
I'm an art major. I mean, English, communications major. I don't know shit about science unless like it's stuff I have to take that with I have no choice. So, I don't know shit about science. But the way they word it, it makes me feel like I have a grasp on it.
Yeah. And it's just sort of like, I really like, and I'm glad the second season's coming out because they're meeting one of the bigger antagonists, I believe, and that's gonna be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I feel like it's something that didn't take off as well as I thought it would, though.
Yeah.
Like a lot of other, I thought that would be so hype. I thought people would be super into it, but like once the first few episodes started dropping, I didn't really see a lot of hype around it, which kind of is weird because I thought it would be one of those
I thought it
manga that would take off.
That would just. I thought the same thing about God of High School. Like, I was totally ready.
Oh yeah.
To like, you can hear me in the last episode talk about that.
Oh yeah.
And I totally thought it was gonna take off too, but oh wow, little did I know that they would compress the entire like God of High School arc.
Yeah, not a good way to go about that.
You know, so it's like, so that's why in my newer video I'm like, you can watch the anime and then you can just read the stuff after it, and then you'll get what I'm saying. You'll get why I'm a true genius. But yeah. So
but like, it's good. Dr. Stone, the Stone Wars. It looks good. I just gotta catch up. There's also Promised Neverland, but I don't think we should go into that too much because we kind of talked about it in the last episode.
Yeah, I already talked about it.
And I think we're just gonna rehash.
Yeah, it would just be retread.
I don't know. Yashahime, if you want me to go on my own little tangent with that, I can go ahead and like go off if you're...
Oh, bro, okay. Go ahead. I've already done it like 3 times. It's only fair.
Okay, yeah. So Yashahime, it's a sequel to Inuyasha, of course. If you watched Inuyasha back in the day, anyone out there, it's that, but it's not. It's you know, like Boruto goes through like the whole sequel thing where it's like, oh, it's their kids, and like the identity. I don't want to shit on Boruto because I haven't seen a lot of it, but the
Don't
grasp
worry,
I
it's
have
bad.
on it.
Like, don't worry.
It's mainly about like Boruto. He's Naruto's son, and Salad or Sarada, whatever the hell her name is. She's Sakura and Sasuke's daughter. There you go. You know what you need to know. But with Yashahime, it Inuyasha sequel, it is very Inuyasha, but it takes, and this isn't a spoiler, it's like episode 1 stuff. The main characters are the twin daughters of Sesshomaru and Rin, which is the little girl that followed him in the first series. Though the parents are not present at all. Like, at all. And it's a mystery. Like, part of the plot is the mystery of finding out what the hell happened to these characters. Because you see Moroku very, very briefly, like, starting out. You see Sango's younger brother, if you remember him.
Yeah.
He's in that a lot. Kagome's younger brother's in it too. And what happens, essentially, is Towa and Setsuna are the twin daughters, and they're just kind of chilling in the forest. They live in the forest. You don't know why the parents are not present. Again, part of the mystery. And they get separated, and kind of like how Kagome goes to the past, Towa, which is the one with the short white hair, who looks more kind of like Inuyasha with like the half demon stuff, she gets transported when she's a little girl, like 4 or 5, to the future, and who finds her is none other than Kagome's younger brother, but he's an adult now, and he takes her in and raises her in the future era. So she's kind of she's a half demon, and she's kind of like that delinquent kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she gets in a lot of fights. She likes swords. She remembers her life in feudal Japan but doesn't really understand it. And her goal is to find Setsuna again, which is the sister. It happens very fast within the first 2 episodes, but Towa, she gets reunited with Setsuna, but Setsuna doesn't remember shit about having a sister, and she's very indifferent, very much like Sesshomaru, where Towa is just kind of more open and friendly. And then coming into the mix as well is Kagome and Inuyasha's daughter, whose name is Moroha, who legit just looks like a cross between Inuyasha and Kagome. And she's in the future era too, because they just kind of, how they reunite is they just kind of come out of the like sacred tree thing on the shrine, and they're just there. And they just kind of have to deal with this, like what the reality of what's going on. Moroha is best girl by far, so if anyone wants to watch that, like she's definitely like best girl. She's funny, and she's a really cool character. And they just kind of like touch base, and then they go on this adventure to both find what happened to Setsuna's memories, as well as like Towa wants to go back to the feudal era because she feels out of place. She goes back to feudal Japan with them, and then other things start to unravel with the parents. Sesshomaru has a lot of really convoluted shit going on with him, which is also a part of the plot, and they just kind of solve this mystery. They do demon slaying stuff, and it just gets really, really good from there. You get little tidbits as you go along about what's going on with the original characters, but the most refreshing part about that is that it's about these characters, the offspring. It is not at all about these it's not at all about them being the offspring of these characters, because primarily they don't know their parents. None of them know their parents, and you got to figure out why they don't know their parents and where the parents are. And it's Inuyasha, but it's its own thing, and it's so unique. And season 2 just started airing, and it's starting to kind of unveil stuff, and it's getting to the point where you're like, wow, shit's really getting real right now. Like, things are getting really, really good. And like I said, I don't have a lot of time to watch anime and stuff, but at this point it's getting so good, and I don't want to miss an episode. So that's mainly the main like continuation anime that I'm getting really, really into and really, really want to see more of.
What's funny is uh, the one that had the white hair and the red streak.
Yeah, that's Toa.
Toa. Okay, that's the one I was like, oh, she's Shomaru's daughter, right? Because she wears the suit, she has the white hair. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then the one that had the red.
She's cool.
Yeah. But the one that had the red kimono and the black hair, I was like, oh, that's Inuyasha's daughter. Obviously, she's a gremlin.
Yeah, she's definitely. You can tell she has traits of Inuyasha, but it doesn't make it about like.
Yeah.
She wasn't raised by them. She was, if I remember correctly, it doesn't really elaborate. She was raised by Kaede. The old lady with the eye patch. That's like related to Kikyo, if you remember that.
She's like 300 years old, you know?
Yeah.
And
she raised her. She taught her how to use like the arrow thing from the original Inuyasha that Kagome uses. Yeah. And she's definitely their kids, and you see that shine through, and it's kind of like a nice little nod.
Yeah.
But they are 100% their own characters, and it's not like Naraku bullshit where you're like you gotta find the sacred jewel.
Yeah.
It's its own thing, and it's so nice. It's so refreshing, and it's so unlike the other sequel anime series that come out. It's just so much like its own thing.
Because don't worry, I'll be the one to say bad things about Boruto because Boruto is bad. Because it kind of is that where it's just sort of like, hey, here's a bunch of characters that like, and it's also just sort of like, okay, Naruto Light is married to Hinata now, even though they never showed
came out of nowhere.
They kind of never showed any sort of like
they did a movie, if I remember right. They did a movie where he like acknowledged her feelings, but it was it's also so rushed from what I've heard.
Yeah, I get that, and it's also like, okay, one movie doesn't compensate for 10 whole years, you know. It made and it's okay. Like even the Naruto fans are like, oh, we don't watch Boruto. We just watch the same 3 episodes of Naruto.
I've heard that, yeah.
Like, oh, we just watch the same Gaara fight over and over, you know.
The Gaara fight's dope.
It is good.
And the Rock Lee fight, that very first Rock Lee fight in like the Chunin exams, that was dope too. But it's been a while. It's really been a while, but it gets hype in points.
But like, and also I just heard that people are just like, Boruto's just not good. I don't want to say objectively because I mean I haven't read Boruto, and so I can't say objectively.
No, I get that. And I don't want to. There are positive things I've seen from my perspective. Like the character designs are nice.
Oh yeah, they're good.
Like I'm glad that Boruto doesn't have that dumbass haircut that Naruto has, because it just.
Oh yeah.
It seemed kind of.
Like
just like the spiky hair at the end kind of thing.
Looks like he blew up a rubber glove and put it on his head, you know.
Yeah, essentially. But we can talk about crappy haircuts because, like, I can go into Yu-Gi-Oh, but let's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, he definitely looks like Inuyasha. Why did I say Inuyasha? He looks like Naruto and Hinata's daughter, definitely. And he has a younger sister named Himawari.
Yeah.
Himawari, and she definitely looks like a cross between them because she has the whiskers.
Yeah, she has
and
the
she
marks.
has the normal eyes, and she has Naruto's eyes. The designs are well thought over, and they're cute. And there's also, what is it, Choji and someone else's daughter. Her name's like Chocho. She looks like their kid.
Yeah, she's from one of the Land of Lightnings. He married to one of them or something.
Okay.
He married.
She's unique. I forgot what the other kids look like, but I mean, character design, it's pretty good, and character design's not hard. Yeah. I mean, character design's not easy to do. Props to them for that. But narrative-wise, it doesn't really hold up, in my opinion.
It's not very good.
And I mean, if I think it just could be more. If you guys like Boruto, I mean, nothing wrong there. I mean, there's a lot of very questionable anime that I watch and enjoy that aren't very good. So, no hate. I just, it's just my opinion. So just take it with a grain of salt. But not a fan of Boruto.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really it I can say on that. And yeah, I mean, I think
I think that's about it. I think we covered everything.
Yeah,
'cause
I
looking
think
at
we
my
got
notes.
everything. No problem. But okay, so yeah, I guess we got ourselves an episode, boys.
Yeah. I think we are doing better, guys. So hopefully you guys
totally.
join us on this journey of our podcast. Hopefully you like it. I love to talk about anime. Sheba likes to talk about manga and anime,
most
and
definitely.
we're just a couple weebs. So if you guys like our content, please subscribe. Drop a like in the comment section below. Like, comment, and subscribe bell, whatever people say. If you like our stuff. So yeah. Yeah, I think good deal.
Yeah, okay. And also if you like me, you can follow me at Shibuna Laguna. We are going to be in the pinned comment and also in the description. And if you like Sakura, you can go to her channel, Sakura Stardust. It's also going to be in the same place. I make videos about manga now, so that's easier to say than the last time I gave like 5 different topics about what I do. But yeah, I make videos about manga now. So if you like manga and you liked me talk the way I talk about manga, then watch my videos. And Sakura, what do you do?
I have been doing lost media videos lately. Please refer to my last 3 videos. I have a second episode of my Lost Media Japan episode coming out. It should be out by the time this is out. And yeah, that's my content now. I'm not going to be exclusive to Lost Media. I want to go into Nintendo and anime stuff, kind of like a hybrid kind of deal. Part AniTuber, part Nintendo YouTuber, because I just but yeah, if you like that kind of stuff, check me out. I do more like video essay kind of stuff. My videos tend to be a little long. If you like that, if you want just some kind of noise to listen to while you're just like chilling, studying, doing other stuff, I may be the girl for you. So check that out.
And also check
if you'd like, of course.
Check our social medias here on the screen if I put them there.
I have Instagram. I have Twitter. I'm on Twitter more. But yeah, go ahead and check us out. We have some good stuff out there, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
And also, you can also now send emails to our podcast email at sugoisagapodcast@gmail.com for any sort of questions or topics or even literally anything you want. I don't care. Send it to it because I'm the one that has the email. So
yeah, and constructive criticism if you want, just not dumbass hate comments, or just maybe video ideas. No promises there, but if you guys want to engage with us, you're more than welcome to do so. We are happy to hear what you guys think of our stuff.
And yeah, our individual ones should be right under us if I edited this correctly, and also the Sugoi Saga ones will also be literally and everywhere else I put everything else. And yeah, that should be it. So I guess I'll see you guys.
So yeah, I think we're gonna aim for maybe weekly or bi-weekly. Depends on my schedule, depends on Sheba's schedule. But if you guys like what you hear, please stick with us, and I hope you look forward to it again for the 3rd time. But that is about it.
Yeah.